Hey, good morning, marketers. Andreas here, and I'm testing some new technology stuff here, and I'm really excited about that. But I also want to really share with you a tip, something that we talked about, and just picking one particular thing that can help you. And this is all about improving your sales and marketing by talking directly to the part of the brain that makes all the decisions. How cool would that be if you could do that? Talk directly to that part of the brain. And this is what I want to talk to you about today. Remember, there's 6 stimuli that you need to use in all your sales and marketing. And today I'm going to talk about the beginning and the end. You can see there that fourth point. And let's get started with that straight away. Okay, why should I do it? Firstly, it makes life a lot easier. Because you remember there, you might think there's all this stuff that you need to do, but in reality, all that matters is just the beginning and just the end. And all the stuff in the middle is not that important. So what you really need to get very good at is the stuff in the beginning and the stuff at the end. Okay, why else should I be doing this? Because less is more. You look at Apple, for example. You know, they everything that they do is really simple. And people just get it. You know, it doesn't need to be more complicated. In fact, the simpler, the better in some respects. It commands perhaps a higher price and gets more attention from people. And I think Apple have mastered that really, really well. Look at an Apple computer. You know, I'm a big fan of Apple. It's just brilliant. Their design is so simple and not cluttered, and everything is. And you just get it, you know, you just simply get it, okay? And how cool would that be if you could use less stuff to create more? So, for example, in a sales meeting, you know, most salespeople think that they have to talk a lot. In reality, all you need to do is have a few key points and carefully listen to what the customer wants, and then deliver to the customer a solution to help him overcome their pain. Okay, here's one other reason why you should be doing that. You want to make more sales. It's as simple as that. Boom, simple. Just make more sales. How awesome would that be? If you had a method that makes more sales, would you try it? Would you really try it? And here is something that I reckon will help you with that. So, will you try it? Get your sales team, get yourself retrained and simplify the things. Really work on the beginning and really work on the end. Focus on that and see if it actually makes a difference. And I think you will be surprised. I'd love to hear from you coming back and reporting that you've tested this and it really works. The last thing I want to hear is that you think it may not work, or this isn't cool, or that kind of stuff, because that is completely unscientific. You need to try something out, give it a go, and if you've tried it 10 times, 20 times, and you can then report a positive or negative report, I'm really keen to listen to that, and so will all the other marketers, of course. And I guess where I'm coming from, this stuff has been tested, and it's been proven again and again. You look at the sales guys that continuously talk, or the guys that listen and then give the right message, what difference that makes. Okay, where can I use it? Firstly, in your business presentation. You know, how does your business look like? When people first come to your business, what does that look like? The problem is you're seeing it every day, and you need to almost review your business through the client's eyes, you know, and it might be stuff. If you have a waiting room, you know, are the magazines yucky, and are they how clean are the carpets, the toilets? You know, that's a big thing. If in hospitality, for example, if you have dirty toilets, that will be the ruin of your company. So all the little things people will judge you by have often nothing to do with your business. The company car that you come up with, how clean that is, the way you do that. The whole business presentation is so critically important. And again, once you do that, there's no extra cost. It's just something that you need to focus on and get it right. Your own presentation. You know, this is how you look like. The dress, your haircut, your body language is the most important thing. I remember talking to you about that. Body language is more than 50% of communication. Then it's tonality, and then the words. The words only account for about 10%. So your body language is so important. And practice that. Stand in front of the mirror and look at your own dress. See how you look like. Do you match what you're trying to sell? If you're selling a really expensive, high top professional item, do you match that? Sometimes it's worthwhile asking somebody else that can be really honest with you. Okay, here, your sales presentations. Again, in your sales presentations, do you have something that catches the people's attention right at the beginning? So you can use a prop, you can use a story, you can use a well, there are so many things that you can use right at the beginning at your presentation, asking the right questions, and making it very clear on the outcome that you want to achieve. And then also at the end, making it clear, this is why you're here, right? So remember that all your marketing collateral needs to have a very clear beginning at the end. So for example, if you send out a sales letter, what's the most important thing? Is it your logo? Or is it your headline? It's your headline, right? Your headline has to be really clear. That's the first thing that people see. And in a sales letter, guess what's the second most important thing in every sales letter? It's a PS right at the bottom. That's the most important things, if you get them right. And we've talked about that a few times, and I'm sure you already know that, but there's an example on the beginning and the end and how important that is. All the other words in the middle are less important. Of course, you need to have some stuff there, but it's less important. That applies to your website, that applies to your brochure, that applies to any of your presentations, sales presentations or marketing presentations. Remember that. Think of those always. Have I got a good beginning? Have I got a good ending here for how I'm doing things? Okay. Always be clear. Let's go back to that one. This one. And then we had here, always be clear on the outcome. So right at the beginning in a sales call, make it clear why you're here and what the outcome is that you want to achieve. Right? So you need to have some clarity on that, and tell a person that, so that you basically know. So if you could ask something like that. If at the end of the day I show you a solution that would be perfect for your needs, would you be in a position to make a decision today? And if the person says no, why carry on and make a presentation? Right? You need to find out, hey, okay, cool, what's going on? Why can you not make a decision? And the person might say, oh, because my boss isn't here or my business partner isn't here, and that person needs to make a decision. Great. Make another appointment and make sure that person is there, because there's the worst thing that you can do is do the presentation to the person that isn't the decision maker, because then he will try and make the sale for you, and guess what? He's going to stuff it up. He's not going to get it for you. So always clear from the beginning, what are you wanting to achieve, and get a yes or a no, and then move on accordingly. Okay, I love that in a sales thing, and that should happen within the first 5 minutes after the little idle chatter and stuff like that. You should quickly ask, can you proceed from here? Can we move on? Have we got am I at the right place at the right time? And then finally, practice a brilliant close. This is when you make a sale. Have it clear. Know exactly the kind of stuff that you need to be asking people. And remember, again, it does not need to be complicated. It could be the words, and what do you think? Ask them to ask that question, because once you ask them the question that's not a yes or no, you can hear, are they ready to make a decision? And then silence, shut up and listen to what they say. The longer you wait, the more the person's thinking about it, and typically the first person that speaks loses, right? So if you speak after you've asked a question and you start speaking again, you've lost the sale. If they speak, they're basically not losing the money, but they're basically losing that battle of the wills, and will make a decision. Hey guys, this is just a tip on the beginning at the end, and I'd love you to use it in your marketing and play with that. I love it because it's so easy, and it actually removes a lot of clutter. You can probably look at your stuff and saying, hey, here's a lot of garbage in here that I don't need, and let me make it easier, and really just practice the beginning at the end and the end, and the rest of the stuff is less important. So you can do that for yourself, your marketing collateral, everything that basically you put out there, and of course your sales team. Hey, that's it for today, guys, and wish you a brilliant week. Thank you.